Welcome back to the Virgo channel. My name is Laura. I'm going to do a general message from Virgo. Know that energy is fluid. Roles could be reversed. Always interpret the message as it best resonates with you. Now, if you're new to the channel, know that anything of any importance or relevance to the channel you'll find in the description box. You'll also know that, or it's important to know, or you'll soon find out that I like to look at everything within my readings. So I don't just look at what your person feels about you, what they did. I like to look at the spiritual wounds. I like to look at the shadows and see how they play out as karmic themes within your experience. Why? Because a lot of times our relationships create a lot of trauma, and those traumas create psychological and emotional imbalances within inside of us. That when we leave that relationship, we wind up still having those behaviorisms, and those behaviorisms are actually what sabotages ourselves. That's what cuts us off from obtaining the unconditional love that we seek. So the universe is always bringing us people and situations to help us heal, understanding how to utilize those things where you're not going to get any karmic retribution unless it's positive. It's important because karmic lessons that we don't learn into karmic loops, meaning like we keep going into the same type of relationship. We keep reliving the same karmic theme with different people. And doesn't always have to be like intimate relationship. It could be, I feel everyone doesn't respect me. I feel like I always get overlooked. It doesn't matter if it's a job, it doesn't matter if it's a friend, it doesn't matter. That's your theme. So to break the karmic contract, which is what happens when you keep going into loops and you never learn, you wind up in a trauma bond type of relationship that becomes a karmic contract, which in order to get out of is a bitch. And it's a bitch not because you can't. It's because you already have a lot of trauma and already don't believe in yourself. Now you have to go out and find a place, and a lot of times, right, to find an apartment, you have to support yourself. You have to do all the things that is why you're actually in that trauma bond. Because unconsciously, people that wind up in trauma bonds have a contract because there's a real belief that they can't have something, that they are lacking with inside of themselves. So until we get to a place of real like feeling uncomfortable, and that uncomfortability could be a near life death experience, it could be getting really sick, it could be, it could be anything. But something else happens that we actually say, no, I choose me. I love myself. So the whole thing with shadow readings is everything that is coming to you within the universe is supposed to help you get back to the state of unconditional love. Shadows are things that you have detached from, things that you have repressed, anywhere where you feel defective. And everyone has parts of themselves that feel this way. And I don't care what type of job you have, I don't care how beautiful you are. We wouldn't be down here in physical form. We're here to learn that we're not separate from God through seeing ourselves through all different perceptions. That's why we do readings, and that's why the readings are different every day, because it's always a different perception how the story plays out. So if you want to enter into winning a free reading with me, you got to be open to getting a shadow reading. You got to like the video. You got to subscribe to the channel. And you got to write the word of the video in the comment bar. The word of the video is always the underlying energy that tells me why everyone's doing what they're doing, right? Because when people have shadows that come from their mask, they want to be perceived from their mask. The problem is the mask either overcompensates or undercompensates within the behaviorisms in a relationship. Okay, so let's see. Disrespect, humiliated. See, I'm feeling it's like almost like a humiliation. You're connected to somebody in that they had the biggest ego. They had the biggest ego at one point, and they really care about how people perceive them. And I feel like your person is the person that's connected to you, that's thinking about you, that's really angry also. And part of that anger is directed towards you, just so that you know. But it's more at themselves. And they're actually mad at everything. You know, when you're so mad at yourself, but you're just mad at everything. And you're mad at everything because the same thing keeps happening over and over and over and over and over again, where this person builds their life back up and everything's great, only for them to sabotage their life and have it go back down. So this person does not feel good about themselves at all. And they're humiliated because I feel like people got tired of their shit. I feel like there was a bunch of people that ganged up on this person. And it's like you said, it could be people that they, ran around with that were women. It could be, which I feel like that's part of it. I feel like it could be business associates. I feel like it could be family. I feel like it's more than one group is coming back to like just karmic retribution, which is what I was saying. So this person is humiliated because they don't really have anywhere to turn. Now you'll be like, well, what do I have to do with that? Well, you separated from this person and you separated from this person and you didn't, first of all, they thought that you were somebody else. And that's always the thing with a person that's self-righteous. A person that's self-righteous, that has a big ego, they have to elevate themselves, and they elevated themselves by saying, I have more money, I live in a bigger house, I wear nicer clothes, whatever the materialistic thing was. So there was the sense that your person, again, felt such a lack within inside of themselves that they hide behind their material things. What I feel like is they can't even buy their own material things. I kind of feel as if they don't really own their own life, or they didn't own their own life. Like what happened actually is that this person at one time was the in charge of everything, I feel like. And then because they were like running around with different women and drinking on the job and doing like a lot of things that scared everybody else that worked with this person and that had, and this is why I feel like it's everybody, because I feel like this person owned a business that their family was involved in, that they had close friends, they had associates that turned into family, and at one time this person was in charge of all of it. And what it is they're humiliated because everybody almost like did they confronted this person, and it almost like when a person does drugs and everybody confronts that person, they did an intervention. It's like they did an intervention with this person, saying, we know that you run around with all these different people. You've cheated on several of your relationships that always caused a lot of drama inside the business. And so everybody that's attached to that business is like, or that your person was in charge of, is like, enough, no more. You're actually going to answer to us. We're going to tell you when to work, when not to work, when to come in, when not to come in. Oh, you may still be the face of it, but you don't control any of it. And you're to pay us, because in the fact that this was your business, but we all had it, we all molded together and kind of are outbidding you. We're taking, almost like taking your piece of pie away from you. Because I feel like this person they trusted the wrong people also. Again, family, why would I didn't really have to write everything down to a T. They cut a lot of corners within their business also. And I also think that they did shady things within their business. And what happened is everybody in that business like kind of are fighting each other and they're not really paying attention to the work anymore that they're doing. They're more concerned about like losing the business. And in that, there's so much anger, and your person feels so humiliated and they are being so disrespected. But it's almost like that karmic retribution that I was talking about. So, again, guilt, remorse. And so what it is with you is it's like they're in a really shitty place and they're looking over at you and they're really jealous. They're really jealous because you don't look like you seem to have a care in the world. Life is so easy for you. Like, and I feel like some of you even might have said something to them, like they couldn't, they would hide behind their business, they would hide behind their responsibilities. But a large part of them hiding behind their responsibilities was to not commit, to not give to everybody else. And this is how all those other people had so much power over them and then never gave you anything, but you were like trying to explain to them, and they didn't really want to hear it because it was like they wanted to just do things their way. And so they're really underneath it all is sorrow and sadness that they didn't listen to the wisdom. And so now they're just stuck in a place of negativity because they're so fearful. They don't know what's going to happen, with everybody. They don't know what's going to happen with their life. They don't know where they're moving. They don't know, like, it's like they're on edge because from every which way, I feel like people are coming at them. And if they're not coming at them, maybe they're just making them feel like shit. Like, I feel like family may come by and they're making them feel like a loser, making them feel like shit. Again, humiliating them for what they did. They ruined their life again. Like they're like, don't you see like what you keep doing and that you're ruining like, and if this person has children, I feel like for some they have children and their family is like, you are so selfish. You're so selfish. You didn't look at anyone except for yourself. You didn't just ruin your life. You ruined like a lot of our lives too. That's how the people close to them feel. It's like you ruined our life. It's like because you're selfish. So, and I feel like again, the betrayal. And so there was so much betrayal, and I feel like your person had feelings for you, but the truth of the matter is this person has so much trauma, right? They have so much trauma from past relationships. I feel like they don't live their life. See, part of them didn't want to be that face of the business, didn't want to hold everyone up. I just feel like no one could do the job that your person could. So part of this was them trying to always accommodate people that really, your person should not have family and business. It should do everything by the T. Your person made the mistake of not doing things by the T, saying, well, we're great friends. We're always going to be friends. You're my family. We're going to be family. I want to take care of you. Because in the beginning, when a person is, starting a new venture and they're happy and they're excited and they're a little insecure, because everything's new, they overpromise and overgive to the people that are helping them. And those people were like stapled themselves right on in because it's like they could see what your person couldn't see with inside of them. So then before your person knew it, they were like actually taking care of everybody. And that made them feel good, it also didn't give them a life. and they were like, I don't really have a life. So they created like a double life per se. And that created a lot of problems because you can't have a double life because then you're emotionally not giving to the person that you claim to have feelings for because you have to continually take care of all these other people. And what it comes down to is those other people now associate you with their survival. So your person got into a space where they were, again, kind of living from this facade. And I feel like people did blow smoke up their ass. People did make them feel good about themselves and think, oh, how wonderful you are because you do this. And that did give your person a sense of pride, a sense of feeling good about themselves. But it's it's temporary. And now what they see, because there's all this shit happening, that it was all fake. Like that when push comes to shove, the only thing that those people care about is the money. That's it. That's not how the relationship started, though. The relationship started where they believed in your person. They backed your person. But what your person doesn't see is that with their success became a big ego. And with the big ego became the behaviorism. So it's not that they don't have feelings for you, but it's almost like they're dealing with all their bullshit and you're over there like living your life and they actually can see success. Whatever you're doing, they perceive that you're successful. They perceive you're happy. It doesn't mean that you are happy, you're not struggling. They expected you to struggle. I don't know why. I think that they don't really understand you, to be honest with you. They don't really understand. They never met anyone quite like you. You're unique. Um, and like I said, because you do a job that you enjoy or like or seem to like, there's a sense of life is easy for you. You just have to take care of yourself. Your life is your life. And you're like, well, you could have had that too. So they're almost like projecting their anger onto you. And there was also a sense of, you should be here for me because I'm going through so much shit right now. It's like, but they don't reach out to you. And part of the reason why they don't reach out to you is because they don't know what would happen with everyone else, but also because for all they know, that you're angry with them, and that's just one more person that they have to deal with that they really can't. It's almost like I feel like as much as they're angry, they have they're still holding on, and I don't know why I'm feeling that. We're gonna see what the hidden truths are. Like I feel like they feel as if they have to come to you after all this shit happens because it's like the spark of maybe things will work out with you after. If they find out that things won't work out, I feel like they think that they won't have the strength. It's almost like easier to think that they're leaving into a new life that's already there instead of leaving into the unknown. This person knows that even though their business is being whatever, that all in all, these people are going to expect them to do a lot, like to like really like sacrifice like their business, their money, their time, everything. Like whatever legacy this person was going to leave, there isn't any anymore. And so, like I said, it's really that original trauma that keeps playing out within this person's life. I love you. So like I said, I do feel like there's a part of them that's like, I'm holding on to like, and I hold on to you and be like, after all this. And I've been getting a lot of stories like this, but never like so detailed about the business and every single person and what that's making your person feel like and how that it's influencing you. And what right now I don't feel like they're giving shit because I feel like they can't. But it's almost like you're in the fantasy part of their mind. So it's almost like they're going to try and manifest you back, right? Because How do you manifest something? The thoughts that you think and the emotions that you have. So the irony is you may not feel them thinking of you because their mind is all obviously on a lot of other things, but they hold you in the back of their mind. I wish I could share my good news with you. They're making changes, even though like this is horrible, what's happening in their life. I mean, the one good thing is that they'll be free. They'll be their own person. And that's going to make this person feel good. And truth of the matter is, if they were the person that was running the show over in their business and holding all these other people up, well, you know, they'll be able to rebuild themselves. They have to rebuild their confidence. They have to, rebuild, and they have to heal. I want you. But like I said, that's the catalyst. Like I said, the catalyst is like I felt like they're coming back to you. You're the catalyst that makes them heal. You're the person that says that they say, I don't want to live this double life. I want to actually do what I want to do. It's like that's counterfeit. You guys are manipulating me. I see the difference. And I see the difference because you guys keep manipulating me to do what you want me to do and keep jamming me up and keep holding me up when you know that I want to be on my own. And like I said, karmic retribution. It's like they're also like, you want to be on your own? You want to be on your own? Well, there goes your business. Your business is going to be. That's how they were really holding your person up. It's like they ruined and humiliated your person because your person saying, I want my freedom. But that's what happens when you give and you give and you give, and then it becomes expected. Like I said, these people were friends, family. They were people that of importance before this business started. So your person never is like, who the fuck am I? Like, what kind of life am I going to have? It's terrifying for them. So of course they're holding on to something. They have to, their brain is the survival mind is saying, I need something to hold on to. There has to be a light at the end of the tunnel, and you are it. You may not know that you're it because you're in separation from them right now and you're not feeling them. You're like, I don't even feel this person. They're not even around. No, you wouldn't feel them and they wouldn't be around. They're mortified. They're humiliated. They're being stripped of who they are on all accounts, but that needed to happen. It needed to happen. But understand it's the fire of passion that makes that happen. We wouldn't move. We wouldn't move. I bury myself and work to forget you. And I feel like that's what they did. It's like I said, like everything what for this person was they were working to save enough money to leave. And then what was happening is everybody felt that they were going to leave. And because they didn't want to live this double life anymore, they were like, I don't want to take care of everybody. It's like I don't have time for myself. It's like I'm a slave for family, and there could have been a relationship, but that relationship, it wasn't even a relationship anymore. If they were in a relationship, it just wound up almost being like a business partner now because there was no relationship because you got to spend time with a person in order for there to be a relationship. It became all about the money for all these people. And in that, your person was losing themselves. And then here you come along, and there is a lot of passion. But they're like, I think that they tried to make it work, meaning it was going to be too hard to leave my business. I'm not going to, I'm going to bury myself in my work to forget you. And also to accumulate enough money that one day I'll leave. I feel like they were always like one day, one day, one day. But and they kept procrastinating and it got harder. And then what happened is that everyone that worked with them was like, this person's going to leave. They're eventually one day just not going to come into work. We can see that we can see they're still talking about you. And they might not have said your name, but saying, I'm going to leave. There's somebody that I care about. And that made these people really irate because it's like, you're going to bring someone else in here. You're going to change the dynamic. Then that person that you marry or that person that you're with is going to want to cut of this also. And then, you're going to rearrange things because really it was your person's business. All right. Being mirrors for each other makes self-love so important. I wish I was there to love you, but if not, I want you to love and nurture yourself. So I feel like your person knows that this is hard, that you and them are in separation. I mean, they know it and they feel bad. I feel like, again, it was just easier for them to stay in the situation that they were in. I just feel like now there's a lot of regret because now that they stayed in the situation, it's like everything's being changed. Almost like they were like, I wish I would have left. I long for your kisses and your touch. So again, there's a lot of passion. Obviously, people wouldn't come back if there wasn't a lot of passion. What we are experiencing is a part of a larger collective clearing. Don't feel alone because others are healing too. Part of this collective, you know, um, clearing is that people that no longer serve and support our highest good, they're leaving our life. If you are on your path and you're doing work, and this goes for you too, Virgo, it's everybody on the planet right now. It's like, even if you don't resonate with the story, I'm saying like it's everybody is going through a collective clearing, and that's anything that's in your life that's not supporting you. So it could be friends, people that can potentially hurt you, harm you, stop you, make things difficult for you. And you're doing the work, they're falling out of your life. It's the year of the dragon, and the dragon tends to come in and take out whatever, especially in certain zodiac signs, especially in the year of the dog. I know that for sure. In the 70s, if you were born in the 70s and you feel like, oh my God, I lost like half my friends. Well, it's because, again, you're evolving still, and part of the evolutionary process is that what no longer serves and supports you, you lose, and you attract what, again, is more in alignment with who you are now, not with the wounds. Because, as I said, if you've done the work, you're not going to resonate. You're just not going to resonate with certain people, and certain people are not going to resonate with you. But worse off, those people are going to get triggered by you because they haven't done the work, and they're going to see things that you have or that you're able to do that they perceive that they can't. So the little green monster comes out, and we all know how difficult it is to manifest around people that don't really have our highest good, that they're more coming from their own selfish needs and wants. And that's really what we see with your person. Your person thought that those people were good. And not until they wanted to do what they wanted to do did all those people turn. And then they said, oh, well, you were a cheater and you were this and you ran around and you did, like, brought up every little Barton thing that they did. But then meanwhile, they had no problem with it as long as they were collecting the money. Keep living the way they do, keep being a player. Yeah, you can still be a player and, live this double life. Just keep paying us. But as long that when there was a risk of things changing, well, humiliation, because I'm afraid of what you're going to do. You're going to, like, take my livelihood. You're screwing up my reality, and my reality was that you were going to be here forever and make us a lot of money, and I was never going to have to work a day in my life. You were going to do it all. So it's like, and my reality was that I lived in a big house and had all these nice things, and people looked up to me. It was all ego driven. That's why the spirit is taking it out too. It's like no one's really going to get that much because everyone is fighting. Everyone's fighting. And when you go back and forth to court for everything, the lawyers get a lot. So it's like, and at the same time, they're ruining the reputation of their business because no one's doing the work. And that's because, like I said, it was really imbalanced. And that's why your person is like beside themselves. And that's why you're not feeling them. You're not feeling them because of that. But on a spiritual level, like really, we see it's the passion that is making your person change. Being like, I know that this is hard, that I have to go through this, but I want to go through it. I want my own life because I want to, but it's like I want my own life. And yes, I have feelings for you, Virgo. So it's like I do have feelings for you, but I'll be free. And I feel like they feel like you're more in resonance with them, that they would have a partner, that you again are busy with your job, that it's more in alignment. I feel like this person's doing everything for everyone, and here you work and you do your own thing and you have your own life, and there's a normalcy there that is what this person really desires. I'm tired of being away from you physically. I'm trying to process my fear so I can come back to you again. They also know that, it's not just the whole leaving this craziness, but it's also like, again, needing to go into this new life, a different person. And so, what got them in that place of codependency is what I feel like they're looking at, and they're processing that in order so that when they come back, it's like they're really free of it all, not just free physically of these people and the business and whatever that was, but of all the baggage, which is really important. So again, that's why, and I look down, I say this, I feel insecure and it's pushing me to grow. And it is because they're like, I don't like people controlling my life. I don't like not having control of my life. I don't like being humiliated. It's like, yeah, everybody knew that I wasn't happy. Everybody knew, and it was fine as long as they were getting paid. It's like this person sees things loud and clear. So we have to say, what are your inner child wounds? Why would you attract a person like this? Now, know that this is a situation they're actually going through a huge transition in their life. And even though I feel like they were shady, I feel like they were shady on the expense of their own happiness because they were taking care of so many people. It's again they couldn't they it was like they had felt like they had to live a double life. So on some level, your person knew that if they brought someone else around that was going to be shunned upon, that was going to be a problem. It was hinted and persuaded that they had multiple partners, that they came across as a Don Juan, that they came across, even if they were attached to someone that they were unhappy with, instead of getting a divorce and starting over, that it would be better for them to live that way. And I feel like they live that way to not ruin the structure of their business and again the comfortability of everyone else involved. So they sacrifice their own life. And and I think that that's what they're looking at. It's like, why did I do that? And it's because they have real fear of abandonment. And I feel like there was a lot of trauma. Again, we pulled that card from the way that they grew up in childhood. Just a lot of trauma. So they have a severe fear of abandonment. So they didn't notice the signs. They didn't notice joy. I'd say again, they didn't have fun, passion, joy. When you're a child, you go out and you find your joy, right? Joy is an inside thing, kind of. It's like we seek things that bring us happiness. So what this is that your person was not happy in childhood, and they felt in order to get love, they had to give of themselves. So here it is, later on in life, they're doing the same thing. They weren't happy in childhood doing it because they would get that, oh, you're a good boy, you're a good girl, and maybe a little like physical nurturing because they did it, but it wasn't lasting. And they kept having to do it to the point that they always felt empty. They weren't creating themselves. They were utilizing their energy to save the family, to, to be the fixer, and that's how they got the love. But it robbed them of their joy. And so again, look at this play, weren't allowed to play. So when you're children, you find your joy through playing, right? Because you don't really know what you're going to be happy about. It's like, but children are joyous because they find happiness in the small things of every day. I feel like this person was actually reliving the same thing. And here it is for you. We have to say, why did you attract the person? Because you are a mirror of who and what comes into your life. So we have to say, um, I feel like you weren't nurtured either, right? You didn't have joy either. You weren't allowed to find yourself either. So that it was uncomfortable. And again, look, it's friendship for safety and security, that your safety and security comes from yourself. However, you create this safety and stability through your friends, through common interests, through where you're spending your time. Where are you playing, right? Where do you play? Wherever you play, you're going to spend time. Wherever you play, you're going to meet people, right? And those people become friends over time. If every time you invest, every week you're doing something, like it doesn't matter what it is. It could be anything from gymnastics to like being on a radio show with a bunch of other people. It could be, whatever it is that you're doing with a bunch of other people. Well, that's what creates your security. Friendship, support, because you don't need anyone to do it for you. That's an attachment. This person formed a lot of attachments. They see that you don't need that because I feel like it's something that you mastered. It was something that you got hurt over time too, from over giving, over helping, and within friends, and you got burnt. Maybe you didn't own a business, but still went out of your way to help. And instead of it being appreciated, it was, the person who got jealous of you and what said, well, really, like you're acting like you're doing so much for me, but look at what you have over there. Someone that was always looking in your backyard. So there was a sense of not having support. Be growing up in an environment where you are the caregiver, where you're always giving, where you're the fixer, means that you're not, people become too reliant on you, first of all. They also assume that you're always going to do it, and then it becomes expected. And then that's the role that we play in order to get acceptance, which is the role that no one else wants to play, the fixer, the helper, the whatever, all the time, because in that, you're not, there goes your time, there goes creating yourself. So that robs you of your joy. And that's what happened with both of you. So it's about you guys coming together eventually after this is over because they're in a shit ton of karma and like playing together, like creating joy. I feel like you weren't allowed to have a childhood because of whatever trauma was happening, whatever the family dynamic was, however you were being raised. Some of you just were strict parents, others, it was parents that just meddled too much. Others, it was there was no support. So whatever the reason, it's to go out and to create yourself and to know that the friendship that you have is actually the support, is all the support that you need to, you don't need to have an attachment where someone comes in, like I said, and pays for everything, you pay for everything, where you're over giving, overdoing, being the fixer, where, you know, you find balance in friendship. And I feel like, as I said, it's as simple as that, to find security and the safety within inside yourself. However, to create the support through, friendship, through, the basics, because friendship teaches compromise, forgiveness, and all the character traits that come from unconditional love, all the higher states of consciousness, the Christ consciousness that comes from a place of unconditional love. So that's what Spirit's saying is, yeah, this person's coming into your life, but no, in the beginning, it's going to feel more like a friendship. And the reason why is because that's what both of you need. And it's because attachment. This person has had attachments. You might have had attachments in the past. If you have the same wounds, it wouldn't be uncommon. So Spirit says this is a way that you're going to heal. So there is unconditional love. There is passion. Again, this person is fully passionate, but like I said, there's a sense that they don't trust themselves. They're not going to be the same person when you see them again because their ego has been stripped down to nothing, which is why Spirit says now is the time that they can rebuild who they are by again creating the foundation of who they are, which is creating your own security, your own safety, and how to do that. And for you too, because I feel like you guys are kind of mirroring each other where there's changes in your life as well, or there has been changes in your life, which are, it's almost like a new transition where you both help each other, but you're friends. And there is love there, and having that friendship grow into like what it should be instead of an attachment. All right, I'm going to leave that there. I know that this was probably super long. I'll talk to you soon. I hope that it wasn't, but sometimes that's just the way that it goes.